$15.95 plus get free shipping. Your solution is at plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
The CSRA has always been my home. People know my law firm for work in the community as well as for our life-changing results. That's local experience you can count on. Call Austin Jackson, the Augusta guy.
North Augusta, you can't handle the root.
Together, Parker's Kitchen and our customers raised over $300,000 last year to help our partner win a water project. So thank you for rounding up at checkout. Your change really does make a change.
Live from Augusta, you're watching News 12 live at 5.
Welcome in, everyone. We are tracking some showers and thunderstorms out there this afternoon. Going to be much more likely, though, as we head into our Wednesday and Thursday. Now, the thing is, tomorrow and Thursday, we're tracking a little bit better opportunity for maybe some of these thunderstorms to produce some gusty winds, maybe even some small hail. So a little bit higher threat for some of these storms over the next few days. Let's go to radar right now. So this is a look at our radar network. We actually have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings just outside the CSRA, north of Lake Murray, across the northern Midlands of South Carolina. All this is driven by a stalled front. So with this front being stalled, it's not going to move all too much, which means it's going to be hanging around and even dipping a little bit further south on Wednesday and hanging around Thursday. So that's going to keep our thunderstorm chances pretty decent over the next few days. Now, currently, I would say if you're west of Augusta, places like Thompson, Warrenton, Norris, also getting close to Glasscock County there, one lone little thunderstorm is trying to hold together, but a lot of the storms we've seen enter the CSRA have not held together all too long. But we'll keep a low rain chance across the area, at least through around sunset. Once we get past 8 p.m., we are expecting rain chance to really drop off. We're going to hang on to some cloud cover, and temps will be relatively mild heading into tonight, most likely staying in the upper 60s. Now, you can see tomorrow and Thursday, pretty decent rain chances return. We'll have much more on the timing of this rainfall and how much we're expecting in just about 10 minutes.
Well, breaking news live at 5. New information tonight after a standoff ends with an arrest in South Augusta.
This is video showing the moment Richmond County deputies handcuffed the suspect after his surrender. That standoff happened on Wiley Drive off Mike Padgett Highway. Within just the last few minutes, the Richmond County Sheriff's Office tells us the suspect is 33-year-old Mason Meeks.
Now, the Sheriff's Office says Columbia County deputies were searching for the wanted subject in the area when they ran into him and then contacted the Richmond County Sheriff's Office.
Your Hallie Turner was there watching the whole thing unfold. Hallie, what is the latest?
Yeah, so we just spoke with Colonel Johnson from the Richmond County Sheriff's Office, and he tells us that, around 2:30 this, what you guys just said, around 2:30 this afternoon, Columbia County was able to, they were out looking for Meeks on several warrants for some different charges, and they were able to, once they got on scene, they transitioned over into Richmond County, being able to, Richmond County also had some warrants out on him, but the team was activated and arrived on scene around 3:15, and out of an abundance of caution, the Sheriff's Office said they were able to relocate and work with some of the local business owners that are around off Mike Padgett Highway. They learned that 2 females were also in the residence at the time, and they were able to deploy the bomb unit robot to out of abundance of caution of safety to I'm sorry, I've gotten a lost words. But anyways, they were able to use that to have Mason come out into the yard and formally arrest him. So again, Colonel Johnson just left the scene right now, and he's leaving as we drive away. But they said he, along with the Special Operations Unit, just spoke about how they were able to use certain tactics and
Apparently we lost Hallie there, but the good news, it appears he was arrested without incident. We're told 2 females who were inside the house where the subject was barricaded with that possible weapon, that they are fine this evening. Obviously a little shaken, but uninjured.
Yeah, and something, of course, we'll continue to follow and bring you guys updates both right here on air and online as well. Switching gears here, a solemn day all across the globe as followers grieve the loss of Pope Francis.
Right, we want to show you a live look at St. Peter's Square, where he will soon lie in state starting tomorrow.
Now tonight, funeral arrangements are being announced for the Pope just days after he died. The Vatican says he will be laid to rest on Saturday in front of St. Peter's Basilica in Rome.
Sorry we don't have those live pictures for you. Here at home, our local Catholic community is still saddened by his death. One organization is turning pain into purpose as they pay tribute to the Pope and his mission.
Even though Pope Francis has passed, people from all different backgrounds try to be a little more like him. And one of those places is right here at Catholic Social Services thrift store. That's Catholic Social Services' first objective, to serve the people. And it's something that Pope Francis also felt strongly about. They want to represent God in everything they do, especially through how they help the community. But they bring in people from all different backgrounds to shop, donate, or get help, religious or not.
The one thing that I really loved about Pope Francis the most was his love of the poor, his love of the people. He was a man of the people, and so he was a good shepherd because he smelled like a sheep. He wanted to be with his people, which was very different from a lot of popes, in the past.
And coming up all new on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we'll hear from someone who isn't Catholic but donates here anyway because she likes how they help the community. In Augusta, Wrdw on your side.
Thank you, Audrey. The future of Limestone University is on pause tonight after board members delayed a vote just within the last few hours. More than a dozen of our local athletes enrolled at the Christian University in Gaffney, South Carolina, are on edge as a possible shutdown looms. Ahead of the vote, students gathered to pray. Leaders say the school is $30 million in debt and needs $6 million up front to keep the doors open. If they can't come up with $6 million quickly, the university will have to move to a fully online model or shut down entirely. The president spoke shortly after the board delayed the vote.
We worked incredibly hard to ensure or do our best to ensure that they get to experience Limestone and the next generation gets to experience Limestone as long as we possibly can. I'm hopeful that we can come to that conclusion, though no guarantees at this point.
This news also impacts some of our local high school athletes who signed letters of intent this past year. For the current athletes, the obvious direction would be for them to hit the transfer portal, but with the news coming this deep into April, transfer options are running thin. The board is expected to make a decision next week.
Late last night, South Carolina senators took a historic step of voting to remove the state's elected treasurer from office.
But Treasurer Curtis Loftus hasn't lost his job yet, and he might never lose it. Your State House reporter Mary Green breaks down what comes next.
To remove a statewide elected official from office here in South Carolina, it requires 2/3 of both the Senate and the House of Representatives to vote for it. That happened in the Senate on Monday night, but what will happen next in the House is unclear.
We voted tonight to remove the treasurer because he did not do his duty. We did our duty. I think it's up to the House to do their duty.
Senators 33-8 vote to remove Loftus from the elected post he's held for more than a decade, followed an 8+ hour-long hearing on Monday in the Senate. It's the most serious action to result at the State House so far from the investigation into a mystery $1.8 billion surplus that an outside audit determined was non-existent and the result of a years-long accounting error. Two senators argued Loftus should be fired for willful neglect of his duties, claims to which Loftus and his attorneys responded there was no proof.
I would say to the House, watch the evidence, and if they watch our hearing today, they'll see evidence that shows the treasurer's responsible.
House leaders say they expect to know what they'll do by later this week.
We've got to do some research on it, got to take a look at it. It's kind of unprecedented waters around here, and so we'll take a look at it and see where we go from here and make some decision based on what the caucus wants to do.
And among the options, House members could also decide to do nothing with the questions senators voted on Monday, especially with the legislative session ending here next month, which would keep the treasurer in office. Loftus, meanwhile, has said he plans to seek a 5th term for his job next year. Reporting from the State House, I'm Mary Green.
Earlier today, Governor Henry McMaster told reporters he believes these proceedings are a waste of time at the State House and that this is a question voters should decide.
The Golden Harvest Food Bank continues its mission to fight hunger in our community. Today, the nonprofit took its own spin on the Global Earth Day event. Volunteers from Bank of America paid a visit to the Master's Table Soup Kitchen and planted fresh crops at the urban farm. We spoke with the market executive at Bank of America about the importance of this urban farm.
This garden is essential to providing the Master's Table Soup Kitchen with fresh vegetables. They serve over 300 meals daily to our most vulnerable neighbors in need. And we're just so grateful to be able to have such an amazing partner that's fighting hunger in our community.
She says since 2022, Bank of America has donated more than $55,000 in support of that urban farm.
Well, a dog and her 8 puppies are on their way to a loving family after being rescued from a local animal shelter. Project Freedom Ride paid a visit to Augusta Animal Services today. Look at them. The organization connects unwanted and abandoned dogs in Texas and Georgia with families and rescues throughout the U.S. and parts of Canada. We spoke with the co-founder of the Project Freedom Ride about today's rescue.
2 months ago, she came into the shelter. And she was pregnant. She gave birth to her puppies and raised them. And then someone took her puppies into foster and left her here. So she's raising 8 orphan puppies right now. And we are taking her and her puppies out now.
And if you don't know about Roman there, you sure do now. He has a heart of gold there. He's helped so many animals all across the country. As of December, Project Freedom Ride has saved over 5,000 dogs since 2016.
Look at those sweet puppy faces. An alert for parents tonight, just days after an incident at the Columbia County Fairgrounds shut down the spring fair. The Merchants Association is buckling down on safety. This Friday and Saturday at 6 o'clock, all guests 17 and under must be with a parent. One parent is allowed to bring a max of 4 kids. Guest ages 11 to 17 must buy admission and ride tickets to get in. IDs for guests 18 and above will be required to get into the fair.
Well, you have less than 30 minutes to share your input in person on the Beverly D. Clyburn Generations Park Master Plan. The City of Aiken is hosting its second and final public input meeting at 5:30 on renovations to that park. That's at the Generations Park Picnic Shelter and goes until 6:30 tonight. If you can't make it, there is an online feedback survey that you can fill out. We have that linked on our website, wrdw.com.
Still ahead, lots of questions concerning bus safety in South Carolina after a deadly bus crash. We break down what current laws are in place and the latest on that Chester County crash. Riley?
Yeah, we're keeping an eye on just a low little thunderstorm across the area this evening, but higher storm chances return Wednesday and Thursday. I have a full look at the forecast coming up.
Time and Temp, brought to you by your First Alert weather team.
I'm attorney George Sink.
Line call 999-999.
You've been seeing our commercials for months, and while you've been watching homeowners across our area save their roofs and save thousands of dollars, guess what? You can too. Roof Saver's exclusive patent-pending Renew at 17 roof preservation treatment extends the life of your roof by 17 years with just 1 application and 1 treatment. Call Roof Savers right now for your free roof inspection to see if your roof qualifies.
Augusta, stop worrying about an expensive roof replacement. Let us visit your home and inspect your roof to see if you qualify for roof preservation. With just 1 application of Renew at 17, we can extend the life of your roof by 17 years. Prior to our treatment, we will also include a full roof tune-up and replace missing shingles, plus clean your roof to remove unsightly algae, mold, and dirt.
We're proud to announce that Roof Savers is the first roofing company to be approved and partnered with the Wounded Warrior Program in the United States. Listen to Dr. David Godbold.
This preservation treatment that you have with Roof Savers going forward and a 17-year warranty is absolutely unheard of. Our entire staff and our scientists basically had to check this chemical out before I would even allow it to be sprayed on any home dealing with any veteran or any of our wounded warriors. So that's why I'm doing it first, to be the leader, to let people know that for me to do it, it had to meet every bit of the criteria that we look for in putting our name on it.
America's #1 choice for roof preservation is Roof Savers. Save your roof, save your money.
Money you need. Well, going back to our radar network, we are looking at a little bit better storm coverage across the region today, all thanks to this front that is stalled out over the region. This is going to dip a little bit closer to us tomorrow and Thursday, so all this better storm coverage we're looking at outside the area, that moves towards us tomorrow and lasts through at least Thursday out there. For the rest of this evening, we're looking at maybe a stray chance for a stray storm in some of our western and northern counties. Not looking like it's going to be a huge issue for us here around Augusta or south of I-20. By tonight, we are expecting generally dry conditions, not expecting much of the rain we're looking at right now to last past sunset. Once we get towards tomorrow morning, most of us look dry. I would say the higher risk for seeing a thunderstorm Wednesday is definitely later into the afternoon. So if you have early morning plans, doesn't look like anything you really need to cancel those plans outside for. Watch what happens though once we get after the lunch hour Wednesday. We start to add that daytime heating, start to really blossom off some storm development, and that will continue through at least sunset heading into our Wednesday evening. So this will continue on Thursday. With this front around, we could actually see a chance for maybe some morning showers Thursday and even some more storms that do bubble up by the afternoon. So this is just going to be a couple day stretch to where you definitely want to make sure you're keeping an eye to the sky, and then by the time we get to Friday, it does look like the storm coverage will decrease a good bit for us. For tomorrow, the rain chances once again highest in the afternoon, but still maybe a stray shower or two early in the morning. Just doesn't look to be a huge threat for most spots. I would say it's the afternoon. Keep that cell phone close, because the thing is, not only do we have the chance for storms tomorrow, some of them could be on the stronger side. We do have a marginal risk from the Storm Prediction Center. Main concern is going to be small hailstones, maybe some gusty winds that get up to 40, 50, isolated 60-mile-per-hour gusts will be possible. So just want to make sure you are staying weather aware out there for the next couple of days. Wednesday and Thursday, these thunderstorms will be found across the area, but luckily heading into the weekend outlook, it looks like it will be a little bit drier for us and slightly cooler by the time we get to Sunday.
Sounds good. Thanks, Riley. New information tonight after a deadly bus crash just 2 hours away. The Lexington County School District 2 says all students who were injured are back at home recovering. You're getting a look now at the bus turned over on its side moments after the crash. It happened last Thursday when 3 school buses carrying students from Pine Ridge Middle School were returning from a field trip. The school district says a tire blew on one of the buses, causing it to run off the road, striking a guardrail, then flipping over. Officials say a 13-year-old boy died in that crash. This is a first look at Gonzalez Linares. In New tonight, funeral arrangements are being announced for him. A memorial will be held for him next Tuesday at his home church in West Columbia. He will be laid to rest the following day.
Tonight, a call for safety as people question safety on school buses and seatbelt requirements in the Palmetto State. It is not clear if Lexington County School District 2 school buses had seatbelts on them or how that student died in the crash. But the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says there are only 8 states across the U.S. that have laws requiring seatbelts on school buses, and South Carolina is not one of them. The South Carolina Highway Patrol says the best way to offer crash protection is through compartmentalization. That is a safety feature that involves closely spaced seats that can absorb the impacts during a crash.
Compartmentalization is definitely intended to protect us, and I do want to stress that riding on a school bus is still one of the safest forms of transportation. Unfortunately, things do happen, and we're doing our best.
Tonight, that investigation into that bus crash is still ongoing.
Looking ahead to Thursday, victims of Hurricane Helene can get help at the Aiken County Mobile Intake that's happening from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at North Augusta Community Center. Case managers will be available to connect people with relief and recovery services.
Still ahead, a scam you need to be aware of as the deadline looms for real IDs. What you need to watch out for, coming up.
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Automotive Group.
Tell me something about your
Georgia.
Burger Battle is a local favorite for a good cause. It's one of the Boys and Girls Club of the Great Augusta's annual fundraisers, rounding up chefs from the area's best restaurants.
Yes, and the event invites chefs to prepare their own specialty burgers as they compete to be named Burger Battle champion.
And the winner is Midtown Tavern!
Hey, I'm McGuire Welsh from Midtown Tavern, reigning Burger Battle champions. If you want to take our belt, you better bring it on April 28th.
Despite what you've heard or read, despite how you've prepared, no one's ever ready to deal with an accident after it happens. And you don't have to be. Just call all nines.
As a Marine, I'm ready. Whenever and wherever I'm needed. As a law firm, it's no different. It doesn't matter where or when your accident happens. What matters is having someone there to get you through it. And that's us.
Get your safe law firm on the line. Call 999-999.
The Little Roy and Lizzie Music Festival will be held May 1st through the 3rd in Lincolnton. See country and bluegrass legends John Connolly, Rhonda Benson, Gene Watson, the Malpas Brothers, and many more. And of course, Little Roy and Lizzie will be performing all 3 days. Buy a ticket for the weekend or a single-day pass. Kids under 7 get in free with a parent, and campsites are available. For more information, go to littleroyandlizzie.com. The 2025 Little Roy and Lizzie Music Festival, May 1st through 3rd in Lincolnton. Get your tickets now.
Listen up, everyone.
Welcome back in, folks. Now look at our super 7-day forecast. For tomorrow, we got high temps back in the mid-80s, decent storm chances over the next several days. I want to take a look at those storm chances heading into tomorrow. So if you have early morning plans Wednesday, it looks mostly dry. We're not expecting the rain chances to really ramp up across the area tomorrow until we get most likely into the afternoon. I would say by 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, we'll start to notice some storms bubbling up across the area, and they will be capable of producing not only heavy rain and lightning, but potentially some gusty winds, maybe some small hailstones mixed inside some of these stronger storms. So these will be scattered across the area through the afternoon up until about sunset. Once we lose the daytime heating of the sun, we should see that storm coverage decrease a little bit more. Now, heading into Thursday, that's when we're expecting the opportunity for more showers and thunderstorms. And actually, Thursday, we could see a little bit better chance for some early morning rainfall. So this is 6 a.m. Thursday. Already noticing some scattered showers out there, and then we'll likely see some thunderstorms start to arrive as we head later into our Thursday afternoon, and possibly a low severe weather risk continues for our Thursday. Another look at that forecast coming up towards the end of the show.
All right, thank you, Riley. A safety alert tonight as the deadline looms for real IDs. Starting May 7th, the TSA will require passengers to have a real ID or a valid passport to fly. Now, this sense of urgency can make people more prone to scams. The Better Business Bureau is warning you. If you see a website offering a real ID without an in-person visit to the Department of Motor Vehicles, it's probably fake. Also, if you've asked to provide information like bank account info, credit card numbers, the BBB says that is also a red flag. If you see a fake website offering a real ID without an in-person visit to the DMV, do not enter your information. You do need to report it on the BBB scam tracker, though. Drug Take Back Day is coming up this Saturday, and you at home, well, you can participate. All you have to do is drop off any unused, expired, or unwanted prescription drugs at Take Back locations. Those locations will collect tablets, capsules, patches, and other solid forms of prescription drugs. Liquids and illegal drugs will not be accepted. The event runs from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday. To find a Take Back location near you, you can visit this website we're showing you right now. It's called justpainkiller.com. All you have to do is enter your city or your zip code. We're back after this.
Watch this. It's
If one of these bad boys crashes into you, their insurance company is going to try to settle with you quickly, but for a lot less. I'm attorney Ken Nugent, and this is my outstanding team.
Hi.
We're known for moving pretty quickly ourselves. Getting your money fast is crucial for your recovery, so we go for the maximum settlement possible. Faster. How fast, you ask? One call, that's all.
Watch it go! Call Ken.com.
It's payback time.
Answers to your legal questions live. News 12 Law Call every Sunday night, hosted by Neil Gordon, with help from personal injury attorney Vic Hawk, with more than 30 years of trial experience, and the lawyers of the Hawk Law Group, with millions of dollars won for their clients, and offices all across the CSRA. Plus, insight from guest attorneys across Georgia and South Carolina. Go where the CSRA goes for legal answers. News 12 Law Call every Sunday night at 11:30.
Welcome back, folks. This is a live look from our Grovetown camera. This is looking westbound down I-20, and you can see some dark skies that direction. That's actually where we're looking at. There's one little patch of shower activity moving through central McDuffie County out of Warren County. So Thompson, you're seeing some light shower activity going on. That stretches towards the airport there on the north side of the interstate. This is trying to move east a little bit, but it's not really holding together all too well. So we're currently dry here in Augusta, but this shower may bring a few raindrops to western Columbia County, Harlem, Grovetown, maybe in Appling. You see a quick shower out there over the next hour or so. Once we widen out this view, though, you can see the activity is mainly off towards our north and west, so there's not necessarily a lot behind this to filter in for tonight. So once we lose the sun tonight, most of this activity should calm down. Now, heading into tomorrow, though, we do have much higher storm chances. I would definitely be prepared to see some thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. And the thing is, not only the chance for storms, some of them could be on the stronger side. So also want to make sure that you're keeping that cell phone close by later tomorrow afternoon. We'll continue those storms heading into our Thursday, but slightly less of a chance by Friday, and especially heading into the weekend. If you do have outdoor plans this weekend, I would keep them. It looks like those storm chances remain relatively low.
Introducing the First Alert Radar Network.
With up to 10 times the resolution of other local radars and technology that can pinpoint right down to your street.
First just got faster.
You've been seeing our commercials for months, and while you've been watching homeowners across our area save their roofs and save thousands of dollars, guess what? You can too. Roof Saver's exclusive patent-pending Renew at 17 roof preservation treatment extends the life of your roof by 17 years with just one application and one treatment. Call Roof Savers right now for your free roof inspection to see if your roof qualifies.
This preservation treatment that you have with Roof Savers going forward and a 17-year warranty is absolutely unheard of. Our entire staff and our scientists basically had to check this chemical out before I would even allow it to be sprayed on any home dealing with any veteran or any of our wounded warriors. So that's why I'm doing it first, to be the leader, to let people know that for me to do it, it had to meet every bit of the criteria that we look for in putting our name on it.
America's #1 choice for roof preservation is Roof Savers. Save your roof, save your money.
Attention Augusta! Gerald Jones.
Go to sacredheartaugusta.org.
Evans, you can't handle the roof.
At Parker's Kitchen, we go big, like our huge, crunchy, juicy, never frozen chicken tenders with an extra large serving of Parker's signature sauce at Parker's Kitchen. You're watching News 12 live at 5. Continues.
We're keeping a close eye on your First Alert radar this evening as we're tracking some rain.
And more storms are expected tomorrow, Riley, and we sure could use that rain.
Definitely so, guys. We are still in the abnormally dry, heading our way in just a little bit.
All right, thank you, Riley. Homelessness is something Richmond County deputies, nonprofits, and leaders say they tackle and see almost daily.
The Homeless Task Force is working to find solutions for those experiencing homelessness, opening mailboxes and creating community care bus tickets this year. But they say at the core of it all is building relationships.
Your Sydney Hood is live in our newsroom. And Sydney, walk us through some of the ways they're trying to help.
Richmond County deputies aren't just responding to calls about homelessness. They are out searching for people living in encampments and asking people, what do they need? They are doing so with their street outreach committee. These are photos from the latest outreach, and this is only a glimpse into what deputies say they get calls about daily, but the goal is to turn the problems into solutions, and it starts with reaching people where they are.
There's just a whole lot that goes into this situation that we're facing, but there are many, cities and counties nationwide that are dealing with very similar issues. So we call all labor and rely on other jurisdictions so that we're just not, recreating the wheel.
Bringing a more proactive approach to helping those experiencing homelessness. Coming up on News 12 at 6 o'clock, how you can get involved.
Because we know a lot of people see this on the daily as well, and they want to do something about it.
And we know a lot of those projects are happening this year that are certainly going to help and take steps towards improving the situation altogether. Thanks for that, Sydney. Well, the fate of South Carolina's treasurer is in the hands of the State House tonight. The pending decision comes after senators placed a 33-8 vote last night to remove Curtis Loftus from his position. Now, that vote came after investigation into a years-long $1.8 billion accounting error. An outside audit later determined the surplus never existed in the first place. Two senators argue Loftus should be removed from office for willful neglect or other reasonable cause. Now, Loftus and his attorneys argued there was no evidence to support removing him, and they attacked the Senate process for denying him a fair hearing.
You can't just close your eyes and turn a blind eye to a $1.8 billion error in your books that was unfortunately covered up by the treasurer for many, many years. And the vote today bears out that the treasurer is responsible and that we are going to hold him responsible for that error.
In a statement after the vote last night, Loftus said in part, quote, "We knew this process would be more political in nature than the serious legal hearing one would expect to overturn a statewide election, but today is just one step in this process, and we will now weigh our options on next steps." The question next moves to the House of Representatives, where 2/3 of the body would also need to approve Loftus's removal for him to lose his job. This would mark the first time in South Carolina history that a statewide election official has been kicked out of office. And live at 5, Georgia's restrictive abortion ban is leading to confusion in the medical field.
A lot of it. A new survey reveals the near total ban on abortion is causing doctors to wait to treat women facing serious complications during pregnancy. Your State House reporter Abby Kasouris explains how delayed care is affecting patients.
Georgia's Right to Life Act means women cannot get an abortion after a heartbeat is detected around 6 weeks. There are some exceptions, like when the life of the mother is at risk. According to the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists who assisted in the study, the language of that law is confusing and, quote, "Many clinicians on the ground are raising questions like how sick is sick enough to intervene."
Is it when she just runs a fever? Is it when she has obvious signs of infection? Is it when she's on a ventilator in the ICU and we've got her on pressors?
Athens OBGYN Laura Hart recalls a patient, a mother pregnant with twins. Doctors waited days for an infection to set in instead of terminating her pregnancy. She says the fetuses had no chance of survival. In the survey, she explains, in this situation, you can save the mother or you can save nobody.
So no one did anything. And she continued to get sicker and sicker to the point that when I came on call, she was on a ventilator in the ICU on the verge of death.
In the past, Republicans have repeatedly defended the state's abortion ban after leaked information from the state's Maternal Mortality Review Board. News nonprofit ProPublica reported the board determined the deaths of 2 Georgia mothers who died from abortion complications were preventable. State Senator Ed Setzer helped write the legislation and feels Georgia's Life Act strikes a careful balance with clear exceptions.
Rural health care providers had every mechanism they needed within our law to save her life.
Hart contests Georgia's abortion ban is putting women at risk. Her stories and stories of others detailed in the survey compiled by Georgia Senator John Ossoff and the ACOG.
If we continue along this path and we have, see stricter and stricter laws be put in place, all we're going to see is more women dying.
Georgia's maternal mortality and maternal morbidity numbers are some of the worst in the nation. According to a March of Dimes report, 169 Georgia women died between 2018 and 2021. In Atlanta, I'm Abby Kasouris.
The future of Limestone University in Gaffney, South Carolina is on pause tonight after board members delayed a vote just within the last few hours. More than a dozen of our local athletes enrolled at that Christian university now on edge as a possible shutdown looms. Ahead of today's vote, students gathered to pray. Leaders say the school is $30 million in debt and needs $6 million up front right now to keep the doors open. If they can't come up with that $6 million quickly, the university will have to move to a fully online model or shut down entirely. The president spoke shortly after the board delayed the vote.
We've worked incredibly hard to ensure or do our best to ensure that they get to experience Limestone and the next generation gets to experience Limestone as long as we possibly can. I'm hopeful that we can come to that conclusion, though no guarantees at this point.
This news, as I mentioned, impacts some of our local high school athletes who signed letters of intent this past year. For the current athletes, the obvious direction would be for them to hit the transfer portal. But with the news coming this deep into April, transfer options are running thin. The board is expected to make a decision next week.
New information tonight after a deadly bus crash just 2 hours away. The Lexington County School District 2 says all students who were injured are now back at home recovering. You're getting a look at the bus turned over on its side moments after that crash. It happened last Thursday when 3 school buses carrying students from Pine Ridge Middle School were returning from a field trip. Now the school district says a tire blew on one of the buses, causing it to run off the road, hitting a guardrail, then flipping over. Officials say a 13-year-old boy died in that crash. This is a first look at Gonzalez Linares. Now, new tonight, funeral arrangements are being announced for him. A memorial will be held for him next Tuesday at his home church in West Columbia. He will be laid to rest the following day.
Tonight, a call for safety as people question safety on school buses and, of course, seatbelt requirements in the Palmetto State. It's not clear if Lexington County School District 2 school buses have seatbelts on them or how the student died in the crash. However, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says there are only 8 states across the U.S. with laws requiring seatbelts on school buses. South Carolina is not one of those states. The South Carolina Highway Patrol says the best way to offer crash protection is through compartmentalization. That is a safety feature that involves closely spaced seats that can absorb the impacts during a crash.
Compartmentalization is definitely intended to protect us, and I do want to stress that riding on a school bus is still one of the safest forms of transportation. Unfortunately, things do happen, and we're doing our best.
That investigation is still ongoing tonight. Riley?
Well, we are looking at high storm chances over the next couple of days and potentially seeing a low severe weather risk materialize as well. Much more on that forecast for you just after a short break.
Time and Temp, brought to you by your First Alert weather team.
Great Deal Construction.
The region, but this rain will be beneficial. We'll have more on the 70 for you coming up in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Riley. The Golden Harvest Food Bank continues its mission to fight hunger in our community. Today, the organization took its own spin on the Global Earth Day event. Volunteers from Bank of America paid a visit to the Master's Table Soup Kitchen and planted fresh crops at the urban farm. We spoke with the market executive at Bank of America about the importance of this urban farm.
The vegetables that are harvested from this farm are straight from farm to table. And so I just encourage anyone who has a passion maybe for the outdoors or a passion for, fighting hunger in our community to come out and volunteer, get your hands dirty, and have some fun.
Looking ahead to tomorrow, Bank of America will host a blood drive for the Shepherd Community Blood Center.
A dog
2 months ago,
A dog and her 8 puppies have a new home after being rescued from a local animal shelter. Project Freedom Ride paid a visit to Augusta Animal Services today, and that is the founder, Roman. He's amazing. The organization connects unwanted and abandoned dogs in Texas and Georgia with families and rescues throughout the U.S. and parts of Canada. We spoke with the co-founder of Project Freedom Ride about today's rescue, so let's listen to what Roman had to say.
About 2 months ago, she came into the shelter, and she was pregnant. She gave birth to her puppies and raised them, and then someone took her puppies into foster and left her here. So she's raising 8 orphan puppies right now, and we are taking her and her puppies out now.
Incredible young man. He's been doing this work for years.
He does great work.
Yeah, as of last December, Project Freedom Ride has saved more than 5,000 dogs since 2016.
And looking ahead to Thursday, Serenity Behavioral Health Community Support Services will host its annual resource fair. There will be resources for shelters, housing support agencies, medical, and much more there. They will also have giveaways for food and free bicycle raffles. This event will be held at May Park from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m.
You park your car, you lock it with a key fob, and you think it's safe as you walk away, but now thieves are using a tech device to break into cars without setting off the alarm. And Jamie Tucker coming up, I'll explain how they're doing it and what you can do to protect yourself.
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Automotive Group.
When it matters most, George C. Gentry Lawyers delivers results.
I was rear-ended by a drunk driver. They got me $1.5 million. Go with the name you know and trust.
Get George St. Law Firm on the line. Call 999-9999.
Hamrick's truckload sale is here with the best prices of the season. Get beach and director's chairs just $29. Solar garden stakes only $15. Select comforter sets just $19. Select hummingbird feeders for $10. 6-foot and 7-foot wind spinners just $40. Hanging 3-piece luxury quilt sets only $29. And select as seen on TV items, get 2 for $20. Hurry in and load up on savings before they're gone at Hamrick's truckload sale.
Beat the tariffs and
decent storm chances. So take a look at our Wednesday for tomorrow. Those storms will really be firing up mainly after midday. So if you are going to be out early tomorrow morning, not much rain expected, maybe an isolated shower, a spot or two, but much more likely to see the rain risk really amplify later tomorrow afternoon, at least through sunset. Some of those storms could be strong, so make sure you are staying weather aware.
All right, thanks for that. You may have seen a Facebook post making the rounds about car thieves breaking into cars, mimicking your key fob. It is not a hoax, and police say they have evidence that it is happening all over the country.
The crooks are using a relatively inexpensive tech device to unlock cars without setting off the alarm. Our consumer tech reporter Jamie Tucker breaks down how it works and how you can protect yourself.
It's called a relay attack, and here's how it works. They get one bad guy next to the car, another crook is following you, getting close enough to you where maybe even inside a store. Then the bad guy next to you has the device that clones your key fob and sends a signal back to the crook that's standing next to your car. And then he unlocks it.
Your key fob emits an RFID signal which unlocks the car. By cloning it, the device makes the car's anti-theft system thinks your key fob is next to it. No broken glass, no alarm. Just like you do when you return, the thief simply unlocks the car, steals whatever he wants, or even steals the vehicle. Now here's the tricky part. If you lock some cars by using the inside door lock, it prevents the fob from sending a signal. That didn't work on my vehicle. Other cars might turn off the key fob if you lock the door with a key. Now, you should try on your own vehicle to see if it works. And if that doesn't work, you can keep your key in something called a Faraday pouch or purse. I couldn't find one in my local Walmart store, but they are available at most online retailers. These pouches block the RFID signal. You'll just have to take it out to unlock and lock your vehicle. And if you're concerned about this, you could also disable the key fob by removing the battery.
These RFID cloning devices are not available in just any electronics store, but bad guys buy them online in black and gray markets. So be aware of what's going on around you. That's What the Tech. I'm Jamie Tucker.
Some newer model cars have anti-theft systems that might make it more difficult for the cloning devices to work. So check with your dealership or website for information regarding your own vehicle.
The GHSA soccer playoffs start this week. We have over a dozen boys and girls teams in the mix. Your News 12 sports reporter Joseph Doring joins us now with more.
Well, there are plenty of good soccer teams across the CSRA. This year, Harlem's girls team is undefeated entering the playoffs. Greenbrier's girls team won its region last week, and both of ARC's boys and girls teams have a chance to make some noise in the playoffs. Let's break down the girls team first, who finished second in 3A's Region 4. They enter the playoffs with only 2 losses on the schedule, each of them coming to that undefeated girls Harlem team. In their other 15 games, they have outscored their opponents 136-13. That's a ridiculous stat. The boys finished first in their region for the first time since 2019. Their only loss of the year came in a shootout against West Lawrence back in February. Since that game, they've won 11 straight now. It's been a decade since the last boys' state title, and the girls have never won before. They now have the teams to do it in the same year.
It's going to be tough. It's an uphill battle for sure. I will not say we're going to win state, but I will say that every day we practice. That's why we play is for the chance to win a state title. But yeah, I mean the boys team is doing great. The girls team is doing great. We work hard, and I mean the only thing you can ask for is day-to-day grind, and then see how far we can get.
ARC girls will host Calhoun at 6 o'clock Thursday night. The boys get an extra day to prep. They'll host East Hall Friday night at 6 o'clock.
At Lionel Smith.
For the best in unique men's sportswear, formal wear, outerwear, shoes, accessories, and more, follow Lionel Smith Limited on social media, and we'll share the very latest trends and in-store events. Lionel Smith, limited to only the finest in men's clothing.
Welcome back in. A live look over Clarks Hill Lake. You can see these ominous-looking skies. We've actually had a couple of downpours pass by our camera here at Clarks Hill. They've actually been the beneficiary of a little bit more rain than us here in Augusta. If you are heading out the rest of this evening into tonight, temperatures right now are in the mid-80s and will likely stay in the 80s at least the next couple of hours. This is where we're finding a little bit of rainfall near Thompson and McDuffie County and just outside of Warrington and Warren County. So right on that county border there, and then up towards the lake just outside of our camera view, you can see there is a little pop-up shower. We're dry right now here in Augusta. Most of the metro, and I would say it's looking mostly dry for us the rest of tonight. Any activity on the backside of this rain activity should fizzle out pretty quick once we do get past sunset heading into later this evening. So if you are heading out tonight, I would say mostly dry across the area. Temps will be warm, likely still in the low 70s by around 9 tonight. Keep it here for updates on those storms the next few days.
All right, thanks, Riley. Stick with us. We have more news, weather, and sports coming up after a short break on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Introducing the First Alert Radar Network.
With up to 10 times the resolution of other local radars and technology that can pinpoint right down to your street.
First just got faster.
What's with all the goats? Goat. George's outstanding attorney team?
After you've been injured in a car crash, call George Sink Injury Lawyers and get the GOAT on your side. Hurt? Call all nines now.